Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live show on the channel. And today we're going to get straight into what Rio Ferdinand has said, what he's revealed, discuss it, get your opinions on it, and a bisha basha bosh on that. We've also got some transfer news coming in on Fabrizio Romano. We're going to have a little chat about Rashford. Rafael Varane is back in training. Thank God we need him to sort out our defence, and a lot more. So make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure, of course, you subscribe down below if you're new. Let me know any questions for me, put them in the chat. Any talking points, put it in the chat. You know what to do. Come interact with the video and all of that as well. But someone just said, hi, Alice, just woke up. And look, I am going to say something to you. I am dead. I look a mess right now. I do look a state, okay? But you guys have also seen me watch United lose 5-0 to Liverpool. So you guys have seen me in a state. I do look a mess right now. My voice sounds a bit deep and a bit weird, and that is because I'm really worried I'm coming down with tonsillitis. Everyone I know right now has got tonsillitis. And guess what I did the weekend? I went clubbing. Whenever I go clubbing, I get ill. This is why I don't go clubbing much anymore, because I always get ill afterwards. My immune system's given up. So I'm worried I'm getting ill. I don't have COVID, which is good, but I'm worried I'm becoming ill. So hopefully I'll be live for the full hour, but I am a little bit dead. I'm a bit of a mess. I do apologise. But I'm not as much. Oh no, I've messed that up. I might be not at my best self right now. I might be a bit of a mess right now, but there's a bigger mess going on right now. Manchester bloody United. And as I keep saying to you guys, when the board run the club like a circus, no wonder the players act like clowns. Clown FC, embarrassment FC, PR FC, social media FC, disappointing FC, lack of mentality FC. The list goes on and on and on. And you know what? Even these pundits that were sucking up their arse, they're starting to get fed up with these players. Even the British players. They're British players. Oh my God, what? The British players getting exposed. Yes, even the British players are getting under some slack, because this club is an absolute mess. And Steve says 92% of the ball. You know, we've gone from the class of 92 to giving Man City 92% possession. That is the mess of our club right now. Who you got today for PSG versus Real? I think PSG will go through. The reason I'm live at 6:30 instead of 7:30 is because I want to watch the match later. PSG versus Real Madrid. Guys, actually, I'm really interested to see, who are you rooting for, PSG or Real Madrid? Do let me know down below. But honestly, Andrew says, shame Varane missed City. We still would have lost, but we very rarely get smashed with Familiar. That's correct. Did you know Manchester United have never conceded more than 2 goals a game in a game where Varane's died? Every game we've played without Varane has been 3, 4, 5 goals conceded. When we've played with Varane, at most, we've conceded 2 goals when we've played with Varane. That is the difference of us with and without Varane. And I bloody glad he's gap. But let me get straight into what Rio Ferdinand had to say. And I want your thoughts on this. Collateral Opinion says, Alice, is Rashford a liability or an asset for Manchester United? And well, he was an asset, but this season he's been a liability. And I think with Rashford, we'll get into that and what Rashford's future holds. But what Rashford needs to do is potentially sort out his attitude, because Rio Ferdinand has come out and said that he regarding Manchester United. So this is what absolutely vexed me. This is what Rio Ferdinand had to say that's absolutely wound me up. And I think this will wind you guys up as well. This just says it all. Rio Ferdinand said that Rio Ferdinand basically revealed a number of Manchester United's players' agents have been asking him to tone down criticism of their clients' poor form. Manchester United players have gone to Rio, gone to pundits, and asked them not to criticise their poor form. What on earth? Okay, there's abuse and there's criticism. Abuse, yes, that's bad. Criticism. Every single football player deserves to be criticised. If you've been playing poor, you deserve to be criticised. And if you cannot take criticism for playing poor, then you do not have the mentality to be playing at the highest level. Go play for Cambridge United if you can't take some criticism. Because if you're in the Premier League, especially Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, you've got to be able to take criticism. Cristiano Ronaldo, in an interview, spoke about how when he first came to United, Scholes, Keane, all of them were criticising him. And Ronaldo was happy they were criticising him, because he thought, well, if they're telling me to do something, I must do it, because they're the very best. The Manchester United squad we have right now, when Ronaldo criticises them, moans about Ronaldo and wants him out, saying, how dare he criticise me? Well, Cristiano Ronaldo's won it all at Manchester United, while some players, Maguire, have only been relegated. So honestly, it just says it all. absolutely says it all about the mentality of the players. And obviously Rio said it's the agents, not the players, but the players are getting their agents to do this, basically. If you play for Manchester United and you cannot take criticism, then why are you at Manchester United? Because I'm sorry, Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, even Scott McTominay, who has been one of our better players under RANGNICK, so I will let him off on that. But I take a lot of our British players who were Ollie's favourites and never got any criticism under Ollie and started every game under Ollie, have now become widely criticised because people are fed up with their form. And if these players cannot take criticism, then they don't deserve to play for Manchester United, because one of the things that comes with playing for the biggest club in the world is, you're out there to be criticised. As a professional footballer, the fans are always going to criticise you because we want what's best. And if you're not performing, you need to take the criticism. Because to be an elite player, to have an elite mentality in football, when you're criticised, you've got to be like, I want to learn from this. And one of the reasons Ronaldo got to where Ronaldo wants to be is because every time he was criticised, he took it constructively and listened. He was like, if this person's criticising me, they must be right. They're ahead of me right now. I want to learn from them. Ronaldo, when he first came to United, was nowhere near the player he is now. He wanted to learn from Sir Alex, wanted to learn from Paul Scholes, wanted to learn from Roy Keane. So when they criticised him, he wanted to learn. Now when players like Ronaldo criticise Man United players, they kick up a fuss. They're not willing to learn. And that, for me, is absolutely disgraceful. Like, the mentality at the club is absolutely disgraceful. And the thing is, I don't know who the players are that are complaining about criticism. But if I was going to be honest with you, I think these players are British. The fact that they're going to Rio, they get an agent to contact Rio. Pardon me. I think the players are, have been criticised, are British. And if you can't handle criticism, get out. Because, oh my God, some of our players have been crap. Some of our players do not deserve to be playing for Manchester United right now, because they've been absolutely bloody abysmal. Abysmal. The fact, and do you know what vexes me? You know what really gets me? Okay? Some of our players were walking around versus Manchester City, and they've not gone and took responsibility for it. They've not gone and took responsibility for the other shocking performances. If you're walking around versus Manchester City and you're blaming everyone else for the loss versus Manchester City and not yourself, and not thinking that you can do better, then you're never going to be the level to play for Manchester United. If you want to play football at elite level, you need to recognise when you've not been good enough. You need to recognise when you need to improve. You need to recognise when you've been responsible, and you need to take that bad patch of form to help you improve. You need to take that criticism further forward to help you improve. And if you can't do that, then you don't have the mentality to play for Manchester United. Steve says Ronaldo can accept criticism. It's part of football. If you can't accept it, don't be a footballer or do a different job. And Steve, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. Absolutely hit the nail on the head there, Steve, as well. And I want to say one thing about Cristiano Ronaldo, and I tweeted this if you follow me on Twitter. Edison Cavani was available but didn't make himself available versus Manchester City. Edison Cavani's got extended holidays. Edison Cavani's been back from injury but wanted to make his injury break longer. Edison Cavani has basically, on 250k weeks, have a free holiday. Yeah, our fan base love Cavani, the El Matador, blah, 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 who's not making himself available whatsoever. But Cristiano Ronaldo, who is 37, who is making himself available when injured. Cristiano Ronaldo is desperate to play versus Spurs, but we're worried he's not fit to play. And we're saying, Ronaldo, if you're injured, you can't play. And I want to say, there was a news story that came out. Saying that Cristiano Ronaldo had a strop and went off to Portugal because RANGNICK dropped him. That was BS. Ronaldo's injured. He's missed the last 2 days of training. He is injured. Ronaldo, if he's fit, he plays. Cavani, if he's fit, he goes, but I don't want to get injured, and he makes up an excuse. How dare, yes, Ronaldo isn't at his best. Yes, he's 37, but at least he's got the right mentality. At least he'll play whenever he can play. At least he's got the right mentality. Because a lot of these players at the squad do not have the right mentality. I'm just going to have a quick sip of water, guys. And you know what? Mentality is one of the reasons we are so far behind Arsenal. City, Liverpool, Chelsea, in terms of quality, are ahead of us. Okay, 100%. Especially City and Liverpool ahead of us in terms of quality. But Arsenal, in terms of players, name for names and players, we have better players than Arsenal. But Arsenal right now are so far ahead of Manchester United. And why is that? No, it's not Arteta. Arteta could be better than RANGNICK. We'll wait and see. But that's not the issue. They don't have better players, Arsenal. Their board's a bit better than ours, but not much better. Why are Arsenal levels ahead of Manchester United? Mentality. What has Arteta done? Arteta cleaned out every single player that was causing problems at Arsenal. Every single player with an ego in the dressing room. Every single bad egg at Arsenal. Because Arsenal, like Manchester United, had players like Aubameyang that started to think they were too big for Arsenal, got a bit too big for their boots, and almost acted like Arsenal should be grateful for him staying. And there's players at Manchester United that, will probably think they're too big for Manchester United and we should be grateful that they're there. That is wrong. Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, they want to play for Arsenal. They absolutely love Arsenal. A lot of Arsenal's players absolutely love Arsenal. They want to be there. They believe in the coach. They believe in the system. Are Arsenal better than us? No. But are they better than us right now? Yes. Are they playing better than us? Yes. Why are Arsenal levels ahead of us? Because their players have the right attitude, the right work rate, the right mentality. When Arsenal played Manchester City and lost, Arsenal fans were applauding them. When Manchester United played Manchester City and lost, we were booing them. Because what is the difference? When I watched Arsenal lose 2-1 to Man City, they were unlucky, and Arsenal put blood, sweat and tears into that performance. They actually ran Man City off the park. None of them gave up. They all kept running. Arsenal put blood, sweat and tears into that performance. Whilst when we played Manchester City and we saw them passing it around, what did? We gave up. Arsenal with 10 men put up a better fight, a better performance versus Manchester City than Man United did with 11 men. And Manchester City are our arch rivals. We had everything to play for that game. And Arsenal fans could applaud their players, even though they lost 2-1 to Man City, because they felt that their players gave it their all. They felt that their players worked hard. They felt that they deserved something from that game. They felt like it was unfair. We are lucky. Thankfully, David De Gea saved us from losing 6-1. It could have been 6-1 again, because the mentality in this squad is bloody dreadful. Giving up 92% possession. There's no excuse for that. Whether we're West Brom and they're Manchester City, we still should be giving them 92% possession. Even West Brom fans would be mad at that. That shows clear lack of work rate mentality. Absolutely clear. And it's infuriating because we're so much better than Arsenal. How are they getting top four? How are we allowing them to get top four? Because we have a bunch of bloody prats playing for us with no work rate, with no drive and no mentality. When they get criticised, they can't take it. And I tell you what, I saw a clip today from Mark Goldbridge's TikTok, and he spoke about Bukayo Saka. And Saka, Sancho and Rashford got this absolute horrid abuse after the Euros. And I think for any player to get that kind of abuse after missing a penalty in the Euros, especially it being England's final, the only final England have got to in 66 years or something like that, the abuse that, Sancho, Saka, Rashford got was unheard of. It was horrific. Okay, they're absolutely horrific. And I understand why that would knock a player down, 100%. But Saka is the youngest of Sancho and Rashford. And Saka has responded to that, as Goldbridge said, by having his best ever season with Arsenal, helping an Arsenal side that wasn't even in the conversation for the top four race at the start of the season, achieved the top four for the first time in 6 years. Okay? While our players are still moaning, sulking and asking why they've been criticised. This time a year ago, if someone said that Saka was better than Sancho and Rashford, we'd be laughing, going, deluded Arsenal fans. Right now, on form, he has been. He has been. And that is because he's got the right mentality. He's gone through a lot of stuff at a young age and he's responded by having his best ever season. Arsenal players want to be there. They've got the right mentality and they're giving it their all. They're playing for the badge. Man United players act like we should be grateful they're there. Man United players know no matter if we win, lose or draw, they'll be getting their 300k a week because they're overplayed, spoilt players that have been allowed to run the dressing room. Maybe it's Ollie's fault. Maybe it is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault for being too nice. Maybe Ollie being too nice to these players give these players an ego. Ollie let these players get away with murder. Ollie let these players say and do what they want. And maybe it's on Ollie. Maybe it's on Ollie, okay? Maybe it is. But you know what? You can't blame it all on Ollie. These players need a reality check. They need a mentality check. Maybe it's the fact that some of the British players would get picked week in, week out under Ollie and they thought they didn't need to be criticised and they'd always play. And now under RANGNICK, they're getting a reality check and they can't take it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is. And Rio Ferdinand came out and said this. And this is what I love. A big up Rio Ferdinand. Rio Ferdinand was talking about the Manchester United dressing room. And he said, I bet there's a lot of finger pointing. I bet you any money there's a lot of he's done this, he ain't this, he ain't that. Rio Ferdinand says, I bet in the Man United dressing room they're blaming each other, pointing things at each other, bitching about each other. There's no squad unity. When we lost to Manchester City, the defenders blamed the attack. When we lost to Manchester City, someone came out and leaked that it's Ronaldo's fault for not being present at the game. When we lost to Manchester City, no players come out and taken responsibility. Instead, there's been leaked. Rashford's mad, he's benched. No wonder he's not playing well. Like Maguire blaming the attack. One player blaming Ronaldo not being there because they needed Ronaldo's mentality there. Fuck off. Honestly. Man United players are blaming everybody else for their failure. It's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. And Rio Ferdinand's right. Rio Ferdinand says, I bet in that changing room, from what I've heard, there's a lot of finger pointing. Instead of taking responsibility, instead of admitting to themselves that they could be better, instead of admitting to themselves they could have worked harder, they could have done better, they're blaming everyone else. If you've not put in 110%, yeah, and you're playing for Manchester United, you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed, because this club is the biggest club in England. This club is many people's dreams to play for Man United. And there's a lot worse players out there that could probably do a lot better job than our current players because they give 110%. And I don't even think we got more than 50% from some of our players versus Manchester City. It was an absolute disgrace. And Rio Ferdinand also said this, in terms of Manchester United improving, he said it's not going to be simple for Manchester United to improve, but he will tell you that one of the main ingredients to rectify is if you bloody work hard, that's it. It's not rocket science. And work rate is where we're going wrong. Have we got the players? Yes. Have we got the ability? Yes. Look at Arsenal. Look at the Arsenal squad. If someone said Arsenal were getting top four at the beginning of the season, we would have laughed. If someone said Man United would have finished below Arsenal at the beginning of the season, we would have laughed. Is Arsenal squads above us? Yes, in the league. But is Arsenal players better than ours? No. But why are Arsenal so far above us? Because they've got players that are hard working with the right mentality. And that is why we are where we are. Honestly, Steve says he feels like players care more about money than the team, and that's what it feels like right now. And Gaz says, when Alice says, how dare you, know you're in trouble. But literally, how dare you walk around versus Manchester City and not give blood, sweat and tears? You need to get the correct manager and give them 5 years. You're right, El Scouser, but this is the thing. Give them time, give them time, give them time. It's infuriating. It's 10 years since you won a title. 10 years. 10. I feel like I'm going to be 60 before the next time I see us lift the trophy. I grew up basically watching Manchester United lift the trophy every bloody season. So now, oh my God, if we win the Carabao Cup, I'm celebrating like we've won the bloody World Cup. Because with the standards, this club is just lower and lower and lower. And the thing that infuriates me is, let's get a new manager, let's give some time. 2 years ago, it was about the rebuild. This summer, we thought we pretty much completed that rebuild, bar a CDM. In the summer, we thought that rebuild's nearly done. The best team we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson. We're a CDM of winning a title. We're a CDM of winning the Champions League. And all of a sudden, in the space of a couple of months, the team that we thought was going to be title contenders, the team that we thought, oh, that rebuild's complete under Ollie, has a completely different manager, has lost many of those key players, are absolutely underperforming, and again end up in the Europa League, and it's going to be a rebuild all over again. We spent 3 years doing a rebuild to think we were nearly where we wanted to be, to realise we were so far off and going to have to do another rebuild again. And the reason we're going to have to do another rebuild again is because the recruitment at this club is awful, because the board undermine every single manager. If the board just backed the manager, if the board showed the manager respect and they got rid of the players that the manager didn't want, maybe we'd be where we want to be. Because why is there a big issue at Manchester United, guys? And why is there a big man? Someone said to me, and I will talk about Haaland to City. Matt's just put in the chat, Haaland to City. And Andrew says, we keep being on a solid 3-year plan only for it to fall apart and make excuses for another 3 years. You're spot on, Andrew. And Gaz Elliott said, if a manager won the Carabao Cup for us, he would get a statue now, low. And you're absolutely right. But I got asked a question, and a really good question the other day. Why is Man United got so many dressing room problems at the moment? Why is this Man United dressing room on edge? Why is this Man United dressing room on the brink? I keep getting asked this. And do you know what? Do you know what I believe? And do you know what I believe is the reason why? 2 reasons, okay? The players. First of all, why do the players act like they do? Okay, first of all, it's the very obvious ones. Overpaid. Ollie let them get away with murder. There's players here that aren't being played, so they're going to be frustrated. There's players here that we don't want here, but we can't sell because we give them too high wages. They're going to be frustrated, of course. But for me, one of the main reasons I think the players at this club are so disrespectful, there's so many dressing rooms, it doesn't matter on the manager. You could bring in Klopp, you could bring in Pep. These players will still throw them under the bus. Because as I said earlier, if the board and the owners run the club like a circus, the players are going to act like clowns. The players can see how RANGNICK has been undermined by the board and the owners. The players can see that the board and the owners do not respect RANGNICK's opinion. They completely undermined him in the summer. The board, the owners, they said, RANGNICK, I know you want to sell this player, but you can't. RANGNICK, I know you want to buy this player, but you can't. RANGNICK, I know you want to do this, but you can't. The players can see the board and the owners constantly undermine the manager. And if the players see that the board and the owners have no respect for the manager, if the players see the board and the owners treat the manager like crap and show him very little regard, and, you know, the players think they can do the same, because all these leaks are coming out saying that the players don't think RANGNICK's good enough to be here. All these leaks coming out about players complaining about RANGNICK, he's not good enough to be here. And they think, oh, the board don't give RANGNICK any respect, so he's clearly not the man, he's clearly interim, he's clearly not good enough to be here. So the players themselves think, well, you know what, RANGNICK's not good enough to be at Man United, why should I listen to him, why should I show him respect, you know, the owners aren't, so why should I? First of all, the owners are setting an awful example, because not only are they undermining the manager, but the players will see that, and the player will think, oh, the board undermined the manager, it's okay for me to. And the players have experience at undermining every single manager that's come before RANGNICK. So of course, they're going to go do it with Ralf Rangnick. Okay, of course. But the second reason is the manager's not given control. The board tell the manager players that should be starting. You wonder why the same underperforming players start week in, week out, and certain players don't get a chance. The board control where the manager starts, the board control where the manager buys, and the board control where the manager sells. Ralf Rangnick wanted to get rid of Jesse Lingard. The board told him he couldn't get rid of Jesse Lingard, even though Ralf Rangnick told Lingard he could go. So instead, what did the board do? The board kept Jesse Lingard, even though RANGNICK said he wasn't going to play him, he didn't need him. The board made Lingard stay. Now RANGNICK is stuck with a player that he doesn't want. The player knows he doesn't want him and he's not going to use. RANGNICK not using Lingard, RANGNICK not wanting Lingard, RANGNICK having no plans to use Lingard is going to upset Lingard. Lingard is a player in the dressing room. If Lingard's upset, his upset and his emotion is going to spread onto other players, which is going to cause a negative feud, upset within the dressing room. And also, the fact that RANGNICK actually wanted Lingard for the Middlesbrough game, but the board told Lingard he could go on holiday, and Lingard fucked off on holiday, and the board didn't inform RANGNICK. Again, the players can see that and go, well, the board don't give a fuck what RANGNICK wants, so why should I give a fuck what RANGNICK wants? The players look at what the board's done, and, you know, they think, why should I do that? And the second reason is, let's say Ten Hag comes in. Okay, and we know these players have got a big ego problem. We know a lot of these Manchester United players have got a massive ego problem. But if Ten Hag comes in, yeah, and Manchester United, and Ten Hag says to Manchester United, look, I want to sell this player. Ten Hag might go to Manchester United, I want to sell Harry Maguire. But Man United, the reason they won't let Ten Hag sell Harry Maguire is because United know they'll make a loss. They don't want to hurt their ego. That is the whole reason he's captain and plays every week. Ten Hag says, oh, I want to sell Maguire, okay? The board will say, I tell you this now, the board will tell Ten Hag he can't sell Maguire because it will embarrass them because they'll make a loss. That's what the board will say. Meaning Ten Hag gets stuck with a Maguire that he doesn't want, that is on high wages, that has a big influence on the squad that he's not playing. And let's say Ten Hag comes in and he stops playing Maguire and leaves Maguire on the bench and he gives Maguire the Donny treatment. Maguire's going to be angry. And if Maguire's going to be angry, he's going to be bitching about Ten Hag in the dressing room, causing unrest in the dressing room. And the problem is, if the board undermine the manager, if the boards choose who comes and who leaves, you're left with a manager that's got players here they don't want. And if a player doesn't want if the manager doesn't want certain players here, they're not going to play. And if players aren't going to play, they're going to act up. Okay? And if they act up, it causes dressing room unrest, especially when you've got a squad full of egos. Okay? Harry Maguire doesn't think he's been that bad this season. Harry Maguire doesn't understand why he's getting so much criticism. Harry Maguire, after he conceded 4 goals and was at fault for 3 of those 4 goals, blamed the attackers. Okay? You know, not only has the manager got to drop players and manager got to work players he doesn't want to use, but imagine those players that he drops have such big of an ego that then when they're dropped, they can't handle it. When they're criticised, they call up Rio Ferdinand going, why are you because that's what's happening in our football club. It's an absolute disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. The weak mentality in this club. 1 billion stolen by the Glazers, says Marcus. On every something it says sell the club. And the problem is the toxic dressing room. You're right, Dr. Cooper. You're right, Dr. Cooper. The problem is the toxic dressing room. Because I tell you this now, we keep getting stories about Ten Hag this, we keep getting stories about Poch this. Okay, let's be real. With Ten Hag, with Pochettino, we know Ten Hag is the first choice. No, sorry. We know Pochettino is the board's choice. We know Pochettino is the first choice. But we know Ten Hag is the fans' choice. We know Ten Hag is RANGNICK's choice. And we know Ten Hag's actually easier to get. The board will want to get Poch, but we most likely to end up with Ten Hag. Okay, we know that's going on. But you know what? I don't give a fuck about Poch. I don't give a fuck about Ten Hag right now. Do you know what I give a fuck about? All right. sorting out these players, because it doesn't matter if there's Jurgen Klopp managing United. It doesn't matter if Pep Guardiola managing to Man United. When the problem is the dressing room, these players are going to throw Ten Hag under the bus. They're going to throw Poch under the bus. And the only way to stop these players throwing Ten Hag and Poch under the bus, and the only way to stop this 10-year cycle, is to give the manager control. We have a 10-year cycle of we don't get top four, we buy players, we get back in the top four, we look good again, player manager fallout, throws manager on the boss, toxic dressing room, repeat the cycle. We keep going through that cycle. Every 3 years, we go through a cycle, and that cycle ends with the dressing room being the most toxic it's ever been. And the dressing room right now is the most toxic it's ever been. How are we going to sort that out? Because we've done this with 4 managers where the dressing room has been toxic, where the players have thrown every manager under the bus. And the only way to sort out the dressing room, the only way to stop the players throwing the next manager under the bus, is to respect the manager and actually fully back the manager and give the manager control of decisions. If we get, Arteta, how has Arteta changed Arsenal? Because every player Arteta didn't want, even though they were important to Arsenal, like Aubameyang, they let Arteta sell them. And they are much better without those players. These players at the club, these players at the board might regard as really important, like Captain Harry Maguire for 80 million. Let's be honest, we're probably going to be a better team without him, because if we have Eric Ten Hag and he doesn't want to play Maguire, but we're making Maguire stay here because the board won't let us sell him, Maguire's going to cause problems. He's going to be annoyed. It causes dressing room feud. If we sell Maguire and we only have players that Ten Hag wants here, and we only have players that want to be here, then all of a sudden we could be like Arsenal, where your squad isn't as good as it was a few seasons ago, but you're playing a lot better than you were a few seasons ago because you've got the right players, you've got the right mentality, you've got the right people in the club. And the only way we're going to get past this cycle of not getting top 4, rebuild, we're nearly there, oh my God, dressing room's falling apart, this cycle. The only way we're going to stop this cycle is if the board give the manager full control. I don't care if we only get 20 million from Maguire in the summer. If Ten Hag, if Poch doesn't want Maguire, we sell him. I don't care if he wants to spend 70 million on a CDM and there's another one available for 50 million. Give him the 70 million CDM because that's the player he wants. Give him who he wants, but also not just give him who he wants for one season, consistently back him. The board should have no control over who we buy and sell. It should be chosen by Ten Hag, the people around Ten Hag, and the people that have the plan, not the non-footballing accountants, because that is why we are so far behind. That is why we're such a bloody mess right now. I tell you that now. Guys, we are on 90 likes on today's video, so please, please, please smash that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Let's see if we can go for 200 likes on today's video. We've got over 200 people watching. So if you've not gone and hit that like button, please do go and hit that like button. But of course, also, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new as well. Sam Gam says that Saka missed the most important penalty in England's history and got abuse, and now Saka is having the best season of his life, but Rashford is doing the opposite, spoiled prat. And it's all about mentality. Are Arsenal better than us? No. Are Arsenal playing better than us? Yes. Why? Because they've got players that want to be here. They've got players with the right work rate. They've got players with the right mentality. Honestly. Shashi says, Alice, I just want to ask you, where is the gegenpressing? When RANGNICK arrived, he was so hyped by experts and pundits, but he's not being able to get these players to gel properly and extract a performance from them. And look, first of all, regarding Ralf Rangnick, I think Ralf Rangnick has improved these players. I think, when I say improved, I mean, like, McTominay looks better under Rangnick than he did under Oli. Dalot looks better. Sancho looks better. Fred even looks better at times. I think Rangnick, we can see what Rangnick is trying to do because we've had 40, 45 minutes of good football, then we've gone shit again. Rangnick is basically implementing styles so different to the 3 years they were used to under Oli that it's going to be hard to adapt. Now, Rangnick isn't perfect. Rangnick isn't the best manager in the world. But it doesn't matter what manager's coming in. If these players don't have the right mentality, if these players don't have the work rate, if these players aren't willing to work for their manager, it doesn't matter what he wants to do. It doesn't matter what manager you bring in. Rangnick can do all he can, but if these players are happy to walk around in the Manchester derby, so be it. It's not Rangnick's fault. He's screwed. How is he meant to take control of a dressing room when the board won't even give him control? It's an absolute joke of a club right now. Honestly, Steve says all of the players will get under a 3 rating this season by De Gea. You're absolutely right now. Honestly, it's an absolute joke. And with great power comes great responsibility. And as we go back to my earlier point, if you play for Manchester United, you need to be able to take criticism. That is a given. If you can't take criticism, then you shouldn't be playing football at the highest level. If you can't take criticism, you should be playing for a team like Cambridge United. Because if you want to be one of the best players in the world, you need to be able to take criticism. All the most successful entrepreneurs say that they failed at first and they learned from their failures. All the successful entrepreneurs, when they do those motivational speeches, they talk about how they're unsuccessful at first and how their lack of success and their failures taught them how to be better. But if you're a player that's playing poor and you can't admit that you're playing poor, so let's say, and I'm not saying this is Maguire, and I'm not saying this is Rashford, but let's say Maguire and Rashford can't admit to themselves they're playing poor and are blaming everyone else for their poor form, saying, well, it's Rangnick's fault. Rangnick's the reason I'm playing bad because he's playing Sancho on the left and not me. You know, Rangnick's playing me on the right, not the left. That's why I'm poor. If it's true that Rashford is blaming Rangnick for his poor form because he's not being played on the left, that is Rashford's fault. Because Rashford is just blaming someone else for his poor form. Now, I don't know if that's leak is true. I'm not saying that leak is true. But that would be Rashford's fault. If Rashford sits here and goes, he knows he's not been good enough, he's not worked hard enough, he needs to improve and not blaming anyone else, then maybe Rashford can get back to the player he's meant to be. Okay? But if a player can't admit when they've been bad, and instead of admitting that they've been bad, they need to do better, they need to work harder, if they're blaming every other player, if we conceded 4 goals to Manchester City, but the defence was blaming the attack. No wonder we're in the situation we're in, because you can see 4 goals in defence and point fingers at the attack. No, you need to understand where you were wrong. You need to understand that you could have done better, and you need to learn from that. But they're not. Instead, they're blaming everyone else, and that is why we're so far behind. Seth says the problem is not the manager. The problem is the owners. The club is not taking from present owners. It will take years to bounce back. And the problem is the owners. The thing is, we can still win a trophy under the Glazers. We can still win the Premier League. We can still win the Champions League under the Glazers if the Glazers employ a board that aren't accountants, aren't bankers, and employ a board that know football, but also give the manager free rein. If the owners give the manager who he wants, sell who he wants, and has no input whatsoever, we can win trophies under the Glazers. Unfortunately, the Glazers aren't willing to do that because it's like their bank account. They want control of it. And with the Glazers' control, with the Glazers regulating what we do, we're never going to be where we want to be. That is facts. Andrew says we are lucky there are not many major managerial vacancies to tempt Ten Hag elsewhere, because no way would we normally be his first choice. You're absolutely right. I love Manchester United, but if I was a manager right now, if I'm being real, I would not take the United job. I love United, but the Manchester United job is probably the hardest job in history. As a manager, I don't think any manager would get a harder job than the Manchester United job, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think there's a harder job out there than the Man United job for a manager. And if I was a manager right now, and someone offered me the Man United job, and I wasn't a very established manager, and I wanted to up my CV, I'd say no. And I love United, and I support United. But as a professional, I know if I work for Man United, I'm not only going to have to deal with players with bad attitudes that are overplayed and throw me under the bus, and I've got to deal with a board that aren't going to back me, aren't going to give me what I want, and none of the tools are there to succeed. It's like, someone says to you, I want you to start a YouTube channel, but, you've got no camera, you've got no mic, you've got no Wi-Fi. How do you expect someone to start a YouTube channel when no one's providing you with something? And the board's almost like that. It's like, yeah, I want you to manage Man United, but no, you can't buy who you want. You can't sell that player I want him. If you're not providing the manager with anything, you're setting him out to fail. And I feel like every manager that comes into United, although there's an expectation, although there's this hype, although there's this PR spin about how things have changed, we're getting Murta in now, Woodward's gone, we set up every manager to fail because we won't back him. And as a manager, if I was Ten Hag, I wouldn't want to go to United. I think, well, fuck me, the players are awful. The owners are not going to back me. This could ruin my managerial reputation. That's the sad thing, but we're just very, very lucky there's no other club wanting Ten Hag right now. Rashford on nearly 300k a week is a joke. And this is the thing, I love Rashford, and I don't think Rashford has a mentality problem, to be honest. But if you're on 300k a week, no matter if you win, lose, or draw, at the end of the day, Rashford will lose, Rashford will shit that he's lost, but he's still getting that 300k a week. And Diego says only 71 likes needed for 200 likes. Guys, please do smash that like button. We've got 200 people watching. We need 71 of you guys to smash that like button to hit that 200 like target. So if you're watching right now and you've not smashed that like button, please do smash that like button. Of course, scroll down below, share this video and all of that. Bish, bash, bosh. Only found your channel today. I'm enjoying the channel. Thank you very much to Gaz Newton and all of that. And Andrew says that we need a top CEO, director of football, head scout and manager, and the board to actually listen to them, but we know it won't happen. And you've hit the nail on the head there with that comment, Andrew. You're absolutely spot on as well. Absolutely spot on. And good, guys. Do you know what else is vexing me? Spurs have seemed to found form. We've got Spurs next. And they seem to have found form. Beating Leeds 4-0, beating Everton 5-0. Of course, Spurs start to look good just before they're about to play us as well. It's a joke, isn't it? But Everton is shit. Also, I know it's a bit off topic, but what is your thoughts on Everton right now? Honestly, guys, what are your thoughts on Everton right now? Do you think they'll go down? I'm just interested to know. I've got one positive in today's video. You know, Man United, the club I love. I've got two positives. I've got two positives in today's video. The first one is Varane's back in training. And I tell you what, it's Varane and Lindelof, not Lindelof and Maguire. It's Varane and Lindelof. Smash your like if you want to see Harry Maguire drop versus Spurs. Because Varane is back. That's the first positive. The second positive is that Ronaldo is back training. Ronaldo will give anything to play versus Tottenham. It just depends if he's fit enough. There's two positives, and that's it. Actually, no, three positives. Our youth academy is good. Honestly, right now, and I don't know if you guys feel a little bit like this, but right now, as Steve says he thinks Everton will go down. I think a lot of people think Everton will go down. But right now, the only thing I like about Man United is the youth academy. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but there's a part of me that literally goes, I think if we played the under-23s versus Manchester City, they would have got a better result. Put De Gea in there, put Sancho in there, all right, and then play and make the rest under-23s versus Man City. And I generally feel we would have got a better result because at least these under-23s would have to prove themselves because our under-23 players aren't on ridiculous wages. Our under-23 players have got a point to prove. And at least our under-23 players would give it something, would actually try, would give it something. Because I don't think a lot of our players try. I don't think a lot of our players give it their all. And that infuriates me because you're at Manchester United. A lot of people saying Everton are screwed. Would Donny stay at Everton if they went down? Donny would come back to United if Everton went down. I told you I wanted Donny to go to Crystal Palace. I told you I wanted Donny to go to Crystal Palace because it was a more sustainable project. And we didn't know how Lampard was going to be, and Crystal Palace were playing better football, and he chose Everton, but I wish Donny had gone Crystal Palace. And Andrew says, our academy is good, but we don't have the current first team structure or coaches to develop them properly, and you're spot on there, Andrew. Absolutely spot on. But talking of academy players, someone that's really impressed me this season, and I've only watched 4 or 5 academy games, Garnacho. How do I pronounce his first name? I think it's Alejandro Garnacho, but that might be wrong. He is 17, and he is bloody fantastic. We hear a lot about Charlie McNeil, 600 goals, wonder kid, broke Beamer's record. But I'm more excited about Garnacho. I know that sounds mad. I am more excited about Alejandro Garnacho. He looks fucking incredible, guys. I can't explain it, but he just looks like the shit, And he's going to be called up for the Argentinian national first team. So we've got players like Zidane, Hannibal Mejbri and Garnacho. They might not be playing football first team for United, but they're going to be getting some first team action for their countries. They're going to be getting some first team experience. And that's a blessing in disguise. We've got James Garner that's getting a lot of first team experience for Notts Forest and will probably be looking for a Premier League loan. James Garner, Garnacho, Charlie McNeil, Alvaro Fernandez. Even Ethan Laird, I think, has been decent this season. For me, are the only positives going. Mejbri as well, positive. The only positives for me is our youth. Honestly, Everton have sort of run like us on a smaller scale, aimlessly throw money at things, not much thought behind it. Says Andrew, you absolutely spot on there. And Alexander says, have you seen Hannibal Mejbri under 23s? He's captain and he scored a goal and an assist. Give him a chance. We'll wait and see. Honestly, you know what? If I was RALF RANGNICK, I'd be really bold. And I'd say, Pogba, did you work hard versus Man City? Bruno, did you work hard versus Man City? No. Drop them, put in someone like Mejbri. I literally say to Rashford, now you're on the bench, Garnacho, go. I would generally right now, current form, I'd be playing Garnacho over Rashford. And I like Rashford. I'm not a Rashford hater. I don't want him out of the club. I don't want him sold. I believe that he will get back to the good form he was in. I'm not a Rashford hater. But I tell you right now, if I see 2 goalkeepers on our bench, if I see Man United put 2 bloody goalkeepers on the bench, when you've got the likes of Garnacho and Mejbri, I'll be fucking fuming. I do not want to see 2 goalies on our bench. I want to see, just like Alanga was given a chance, go give Charlie McNeil a chance. Go give Garnacho a chance. And honestly, Hannibal should be playing unlike most of our mids. He's a technical baller. I agree. And with how bad our midfield has been, why don't we give Hannibal a chance? Guys, we're at 160 likes, so please do smash that like button. Let's see if we can go for 200 likes by the end of the video. So if you're watching right now and you've not smashed that like button, please do go and give this video a like. It'll be really appreciated. Bish bash bosh on the like button. And also, guys, if you are new, please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football. I go live pretty much every single evening. I do daily Manchester United content on the channel. So if you're watching right now and you're new and you're like, who is this Alice girl? Can she shut the fuck up? I understand. But seriously, on a serious note, I do Manchester United content every single day. I go live 4 times a week. I do 2 videos a week as well. I basically do content every other day, giving you all the latest Manchester United news updates, transfer updates, gossip updates, rumours updates, and more. I do watch-alongs, I do match reactions, I do match previews. So if that sounds like your thing, please do subscribe as well. I got a little bit of news that Manchester United are looking at Kamara, who we could have got in January. So I'll be a bit pissed off if we get Kamara in the summer because we could have got him in January as well. And sources say that time is running out for Marcus Rashford to win back his place in the England squad, with only 2 international breaks scheduled before Southgate names 2022 World Cup squad, says Mark Ogden. And Rashford's England career is in jeopardy. However, Sancho is expected to get called back up for England. Look, I understand Rashford's frustration with being on the bench. He wants to be in the World Cup. He wants to play for England. But Rashford, you need to perform. You need to work hard in training if you want to get back in the squad. It's Rashford's fault, that he's not playing well. He needs to work harder. He needs to get back to his stuff. Do you get what I mean? Guys, smash a like, smash a subscribe. Any questions for me, please comment them down below. But talking of another ex-Man United player, and I'm sorry if the stream quality's dropped a bit. I do apologise. But talking of another ex-Man United player, Dimitar Berbatov has come out and again criticised Harry Maguire. Just like Rio Ferdinand has, Berbatov's gone and criticised Harry Maguire. And Berbatov's come out and said, regarding Harry Maguire, that the mistakes he's making are damaging his ability to lead the team. Maybe Ralf Rangnick needs to give Maguire a rest and someone else a chance. And I think that's absolutely spot on from Dimitar Berbatov. And look, guys, I apologise. My hair is an absolute mess, isn't it? Look at it, it's all messy. But I want to say something about Harry Maguire, okay? And I do stand him a lot. I will. But if you're Harry Maguire and you're captain and you're playing the way you're playing, how do you expect to get respect from your teammates? Because for me, if you're captain of Man United, you've got to be one of our best players. You've got to be performing well. Because let's be real, if I'm a player at Man United and Harry Maguire's bossing me around, I'll probably tell him to fuck off. I'll be like, shit, mate, fuck off. How dare a player speak to their captain like that? It's so disrespectful. But with the way Maguire's been, acting, would you blame someone like Ronaldo if Maguire came up bossing around to tell him to F off? You probably wouldn't. Because I think, Harry Maguire needs to be dropped as captain. And I think him being captain has caused dressing room issues, because if the players don't respect a manager, they'll normally listen to their captain. But how can Harry Maguire gain the respect of the players when he's been absolutely dreadful, when it's clear the players don't respect Maguire? So if RANGNICK can't get the respect of the players because he doesn't have a good enough CV, and the captain can't get respect of the players, there's no one in that Man United dressing room to control them. And look, Maguire, even when he was in form, I never thought was a captain. But Maguire out of form, you need to give someone else captaincy, because with his current form, as Berbatov said, he's not going to get control. He's not going to be able to put any input in that dressing room. He's not a captain. And just as you can't play progressive modern football with Maguire, just bench him already. That's how I feel. Guys, smash a like on the video if you want Maguire to be benched versus Tottenham Hotspur. If you agree with me and you'd like to see Maguire bench versus Tottenham Hotspur, smash a like on the video. And also, guys, do let me know if you're going to be watching the not Manchester City game. I mean, who's going to watch Man City? Small club, lol. But let me know if you're going to be watching the Real Madrid PSG game later. And if you are, let me know your thoughts on that game. Who are you hoping to win? Who do you want to win that game? Do let me know down below. But keep smashing the likes on the video. Keep subscribing down below if you're new. Share the video and all of that. But smash a like if you want Maguire dropped. Someone says, don't hate on a damn fridge. And then, it's not the fridge's fault, is it? He's a fridge. And what has Ronaldo ever won? I'm assuming that's a joke comment, because Ronaldo's won Ballon d'Ors, mate. Ronaldo has more Ballon d'Ors than Maguire's trophies. I mean, that's not hard, because Maguire has no trophies. Like, the funny thing is, our captain is captaining. You know what? This just makes me laugh, guys. All right, Harry Maguire has as many relegations as Varane has Champions Leagues, as Ronaldo's Champions Leagues. Yet he's the one bossing him around. All right. If Harry Maguire was playing really, really well these last 3 seasons and was a good player and actually deserved to start week in, week out, then it's fine for Maguire to be captain. But you can't expect a Maguire that has been playing like a Sunday League player to captain the likes of Varane and Ronaldo. It just, for me, it doesn't make sense. There's no sense in it. Do you want Ronaldo to play in the Europa League? No, I don't. I think if we get Europa League, Ronaldo will go. United are 1-0 up right now in the under-18s game, by the way. And Maguire, not Fred and Rashford all need to be dropped. And we need a new captain too, says Punapat, and I agree with that as well. Guys, please do go ahead and put any input down below. Put any input down below. But I've got an opinion, and I want you guys to tell me your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments section, who is Man United's most important player? Who is the player that you don't want to see get injured again? And for me, that's Rafael Varane. Because with Rafael Varane at the back, we don't get embarrassed. We might lose games, we don't get embarrassed. I actually believe Varane has been our best signing this season. Even though I love Sancho, I think Varane is our most important player right now. Because the difference of us with and without Rafael Varane is staggering. Absolutely massive. I don't know who you think our most important player is, but for me, I think Varane. I think De Gea is up there, but I actually think Dean Henderson's a good player. But I mean, on form right now, De Gea has been our best player. But I think the most important for me, it would be Rafael Varane. If I'm going to be honest with you. I know Bruno's been poor, but I still stand by that. I think Bruno's one of our most important players. I think we're always shit when Bruno doesn't play, and I will stand by that. A lot of people saying De Gea and Varane and Bruno and Ronaldo. And look, I think mentality-wise, De Gea, Varane, Bruno and Ronaldo probably have the most elite and probably, I guess, the best mentality in the Manchester United squad as well. Guys, my throat is like crackling up a bit, so I do apologise if I'm speaking a bit quieter than normal as well. But most people saying Sancho, Varane, De Gea. I think we're all on the same page there. No one's saying Maguire. Harry Maguire has more Greek punch-ups than Ronaldo. That's Maguire's trophy then. That's Maguire's trophy. And Ronaldo and Varane have won more Champions Leagues than United has. And yeah, that's a mad stat there from Andrew, but you're absolutely spot on. And that is scary, isn't it? Varane, when fit, stabilises us so much, says Andrew. You're absolutely right. I mean, if you look at all our bad fixtures, and let me do that now. Let's look at all our big L's and let's see which ones Varane has played in. Okay, so conceded 4 goals to City, no Varane. Conceded. Where are we? Well, I'm trying to find the losses. So we conceded 4 goals to City. There was no Varane. Okay. We also conceded 4 goals to Watford. There was no Varane. 2-0 to City. There was no Varane. 5-0 to Liverpool. There was no Varane. 4-2 to Leicester. There's no Varane. So in all the games we conceded 4, 5, and 3 goals, there's been no Rafael Varane playing for us. Guess who's been in all of them? Harry fucking Maguire. I mean, like, look at this lineup. Look at this lineup. I mean, if we go through the lineup from the Man City game, De Gea did all right. Wan-Bissaka was dreadful. Lindelof, I think he's been okay this season, but dreadful. Maguire, absolutely dreadful. I mean, if Maguire got sent off, it probably would have made us better. That's how bad he was. Tellez was dreadful. Fred was dreadful. McTominay was dreadful. Elanga, he's too young. I'm not going to go on him. Pogba got a good assist, but other than that was dreadful. Sancho was good. Bruno was dreadful. You know, absolute dreadful. You look at the subs. Rashford made us worse. Lingard made us worse. I would have brought Matic on as a sub. Honestly, the subs made us worse. Honestly, I believe that. Absolutely dreadful. We look at the team that, let's say, lost under Ollie to Watford. Last time we lost 4-1. Let's look at the team. Oh, basically the same team. The last time we lost 4-1, very, very similar team. And if you notice, the one consistent, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka in the back line when we conceded 4 and 5 goals every time. With McTominay. Every time. And you know what annoyed me? It's the Scott McTominay bum boys were saying, oh, Donny conceded 5 goals with Everton. Donny's shit. Blah, 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 blah. Scott McTominay conceded 4 goals against Watford. Scott McTominay conceded 5 goals against Liverpool. So Donny's conceded 5 goals, but so has every single one of our midfielders. So why is that relevant? Why are you saying because Donny conceded 5 goals, he's worse than Scott because he's worse than Fred? When Scott, Fred, and Matic have all conceded 5 goals this season. Mr. Didi says it's not a team, it's just individuals doing their own thing. And you're absolutely right. We do not play like a team. I agree with you. Bruno Fernandes is actually with his old Sporting teammates who are playing Man City tonight. I mean, look, imagine if Sporting go score 6. I imagine that. Imagine that. Charlie McNeil's just scored for Man United, and we were talking about him. Can you believe that? We were talking about Charlie McNeil like 5 minutes ago, and he's just gone and scored. And Diego says, guys, we're only 25 likes away from 200 likes. So if you're watching right now and you've not smashed that like button, please do go ahead, pardon me, and do so. It'd be really, really appreciated if you do. And you know what? A story that's come out, I don't know your thoughts on this, but Luke Shaw's about to sign a new contract at Man United worth 150k a week. And I think I like Luke Shaw, but on current form, we should not be giving him a new contract. And I don't know what you guys think about that, but I don't think Luke Shaw deserves a new contract on current form. Hi, Alice. Just swinging in to see how you're doing. I'm doing all right, but my throat's a bit sore. I think I might be getting tonsillitis. And Shakri says, with Varane, we concede 7 goals a game. Without him, you know, it's above 2. Yeah, without Varane, we're conceding like 5 goals a game. With Varane, we're conceding 1 or 2. The difference is staggering. Alice, chug more water than a hippo. Honestly, a chug in the water. Absolutely chugging the water. I was just showing you the shit, Man United. Get Man United off my screen, Alice. The shit. I mean, look, I'm going to be real, guys. Look at this. Look at these fixtures coming up. Liverpool, Leicester, Atletico Madrid, Spurs. We'll probably give Everton 3 points. Norwich will probably make that game hard. Arsenal right now will thrash us. Brentford, Brighton's a good team. This is the thing. I'm going to be real. Tottenham are playing well at the moment. Atletico, good team. Liverpool, good team. Leicester, a good team. Everton, they're shit right now, but we'll probably give them points. Norwich, okay, that's an easy one. Arsenal, good team. Brentford, okay, that's an easy one. Brighton, good team. Chelsea, good team. And Palace are a good team right now. No fucking way we're getting top 4 when I look at that. We generally have to win the Champions League. The only thing right now, and it sounds mad, it sounds so deluded because I know we're not going to the Champions League. But the only thing that keeps me going right now is the hope we win the Champions League because I know top 4 is gone. I know top 4 is gone. The only thing that's giving me that hope is the hope we win the Champions League. And how deluded is that? Because I know we're not going to win the Champions League. I know we're probably putting a shit performance versus Atleti at home and get knocked out. And I know I'm going to be so heartbroken. If we get knocked out of the Champions League, you do not understand how heartbroken I'll be. I'll be absolutely devastated if we get knocked out of the Champions League. And the sad truth is, I know and expect us to get knocked out to Atletico Madrid. And I know when we get knocked out to Atletico Madrid, there's no trophy this season. There's nothing to hold on to. There's top 4 gone. The season is over for us. As soon as we're out of the Champions League, the season is over for us. That is it. And, you know, that's going to be a bitter pill to swallow because we've got to sit through another 2 months of the season knowing that ours is over. Knowing we're not getting top 4. Knowing we've won nothing. When in the summer, we were getting excited. We were letting any hope in. We thought this team could challenge for a title, maybe. This team's the best team we've had in years. This team surely has to win a trophy. And we could be sitting here in March knowing we've won fuck all and knowing we're not going to win anything and not going to get top 4. And we kind of know that now, but because we haven't been knocked out of the Champions League, we don't have to accept it. And I tell you what, 71 or so days to the season's over. And I can't wait. The board have wrote off the season. Time to bench the egos and play the youth, says Richard. Spot on. Let's support Real Madrid. Well, I'm always going to support Man United. We could be in League 2. I'm always going to support Man United. But I tell you what, as soon as we get knocked out of the Champions League, that is me dead. That is me flat. That is the season over. Because the only thing I'm holding on to is the hope that we might produce a Champions League miracle. Do what Chelsea did when they didn't get top 4 and won the Champions League. But with the mentality we have, with the egos we have, with the lack of work rate we have, there's no fucking chance of winning a Champions League. There is more chance of Sporting Lisbon having a comeback today versus Man City than us winning the Champions League. Because we haven't got the mentality. We haven't got the right players to win a major trophy. We've only got a few. But if you can't take criticism, if you're whining, if you're moaning, then how can I expect you to win a major trophy? If you whinge at this, you whinge at that. I mean, look, I think we can beat Atleti. I'm going to be real. I generally think we can beat Atleti. But I wouldn't be surprised if we lost because look at our squad. Bayern will fuck us over. City will. Liverpool will. PSG will. We might be able to beat Atleti, but anyone else, they'll screw us. Absolutely screw us. I'm at the point where, honestly, I would take Man United getting to the final and losing in the Champions League final just so I have something to hold on to the end of the season. Because as soon as we're out of the Champions League, that is the season gone. It's written off. No trophies, no top 4, Europa League. maybe Conference League. That is the season written off. At least if we get top 4, at least if we stay in the Champions League to the final, and let's say we lose the final, at least we have a little bit of hope, something to hold on, and then just be heartbroken. At least something to hold on. Because if we write off the season in March, it's horrible. The feeling of it being our best season in years and maybe writing it off in March is just, yeah. And Mr. Dini said he's looking forward to see Hannibal start. Well, look, I hope Hannibal gets some starts and soon. I really, really do. I like Hannibal as well. I just can't support the team with the egos. The players did not try against Man City, and that can't be forgiven, said Richard. And you're absolutely spot on. That's exactly how I feel, if I'm going to be honest. Gaz says we're on 200 likes, guys. Boom, 200 likes. Thank you, everyone, for smashing that like button. Let's go for 250 likes. If you've not hit that like button, please do. Can we go for 250 likes? Hope you get better, Alice. Take care. Yeah, my throat is just trying up. I'm worried I got tonsillitis because everyone I know seems to get tonsillitis. And Sporting's currently better than Man United, literally. And the state of Man United reminds me of the days under Dave Sexton before Ron Atkinson took over, says Showkat Khan. And do you think Ronaldo will be back for the Champions League against Atletico? Ronaldo will make himself back. Unlike Cavani will be asked to play against Atletico, and Cavani will go, now I want a holiday, mate. Ronaldo could be injured, but he'll make himself back. Because Ronaldo has missed the Champions League. He'll make himself available. He'll make himself back because that's just the player Ronaldo is. Where certain players, they'll just have a strop. They won't make themselves available. They don't care. And we've got too many players that don't care. Drink hot chocolate, Alice. I might actually, guys. You know what? I might. United is a noisy neighbour now. Yeah. If you can't take criticism, you shouldn't be playing for big clubs. Spot on. Spot on. I agree with that. Other than United, who would you support in the UCL? Probably Chelsea. I always root for English teams apart from Man City and Liverpool. So I'd root for Spurs. I'd root for Chelsea. I always root for English teams apart from City and Liverpool because they're rivals. I mean, if I was going to be 100% honest, I'd go with someone like Ajax. For me, it would be underdogs. Even if the underdogs are out, it would be like the English team I like the most. So I'd probably say Ajax, actually. They've got Benfica. I do really like Ajax plus Ten Hag. Imagine Ten Hag wins the Champions League with Ajax. And he comes to United, imagine. Never going to happen, but well, it might happen, but yeah. As Diego says, make sure you subscribe. Yes, guys, we are on the road to 40,000 subscribers now. We're on 30,365 subscribers, 35 subscribers away from 30.4k. So please do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you've not subscribed to the channel. It will be very, very much appreciated and means a lot. And guys, I am going to end today's live stream here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today's live stream. It's been a really good live stream. It's been a really good live show. We've got some really good people in the chat today, some really good comments. I'm sorry that I'm a bit ill. I'm sorry that I'm a bit dead. I'm sorry that my voice sounds weird. I'm sorry that I'm a bit of a mess. But we managed to keep going for about an hour for today's live show. So big up everybody that's tuned in. Big up everybody in the chat. Really, really good comments as well. So make sure you smash your like on your way out. Make sure you subscribe. I will be live again on Friday night for the match preview versus Spurs, and I will be live on Saturday for the Manchester United versus Spurs watch along. So there'll be a video out tomorrow, and then Friday and Saturday I will be live. So make sure you subscribe with post notifications on as well. We'll do score predictions, team predictions versus Spurs. There'll be some team news by Friday for the Spurs game. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Match reactions, match preview, watch along, transfer news all coming up. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Smash your like, smash your subscribe. See you next time.